Hey, everybody. Before we get to today's chat, jot down a note for yourself to head over to don'tforgettolaugh.com to check out our fundraiser that we're doing for the Alzheimer's Association. It's a comedy night that we're going to be doing COVID or Shine. So if we're unable to gather together in person, we're going to get together online for this event. We're scheduled for Wednesday, July 22nd, and it's don'tforgettolaugh.com for all the details. Hope you enjoy today's chat. Sometimes it's just a small modification as just taking something out to someone in their car rather than having everybody go in and out. We should probably mention why Tom Selleck is standing behind you.
Okay. Well, he's our paid spokesperson on television.
Hey everybody, Ken Hendricks from Home Instead Senior Care here. Thanks so much for joining me again today. Today my guest is John Ruybalid. John works with American Advisors Group, which is the leading reverse mortgage lender in the nation. John's work and expertise in this area aims to provide solutions for seniors seeking to have a better retirement experience. His passion for this work lies in his ability to bring peace of mind to folks as they age, having put preparations in place for things like retirement planning, maintaining cash flow, and even resources for home health care when the need arises. I've known John for several years, and he has a wide range of personal and professional experience that certainly qualifies him as a fantastic resource within our community for those who are caring for an aging loved one or those who are looking into planning options for themselves. So please welcome my friend, John Ruybalid. Thanks for joining me,
Thanks,
John.
thanks, Ken. I really appreciate it. And the first thing that I wanted to say is that when my mom was at home and trying to live by herself and having some problems, that we hired Home Instead Senior Care to have home health care people come into the house and help her. So I just wanted to say, when my mother needed help at home, we used Home Instead Senior Care to have caregivers come in and help her out. And Jennifer was just a fantastic member of your staff who helped coordinate the caregivers, and she just did a great job, and I just wanted to give her a shout out.
I remember all those years ago when I first started in this role with Home Instead, and you and I were getting to know each other, and you'd mentioned that to me, and I just felt like it was such a neat connection to make at that point when I was starting to get out in the community and aim to educate folks about what we do. But having that personal connection with you meant a lot to me, and of course, having people trust us to provide this type of care for their loved ones and help them stay at home as they age is something that it's a privilege to be trusted with that type of thing. And it's always fantastic to hear that people had a great experience and it enabled them to accomplish their goals. So thank you for mentioning that at the top,
Okay.
John. I
All
appreciate
right.
it. For those out there that are a little less familiar with who you are and what you do, can you just give folks a general overview of what you do, and maybe with the current climate and with COVID-19, how has that situation called for modifications to your approach?
So I've been doing reverse mortgages for about 15 years. I've been in the mortgage business in Santa Fe about 35 years. But about 15 years ago, I was convinced that there was like a really big need for reverse mortgages. And so I kind of stopped doing regular mortgages and concentrated on reverse. And I found the work so gratifying to be able to help seniors solve a problem or create a line of credit that they can use in the future was just so much more gratifying than just doing regular rate and term refinances. And so that's what I've been doing. The majority of the loans that I do, I'm paying off the people's existing mortgage or mortgages. And this really can kind of change their cash flow around tremendously, particularly if they have a rather large mortgage payment and they're getting by on Social Security and a retirement fund. And if I can eliminate that mortgage payment with the reverse mortgage, which doesn't have payments, it can really change people's cash flow around tremendously. Now, in the world of COVID-19, we had to change the way we do business. And right now, I'm not meeting with clients face to face. And so I'll interview them, I'll take the application, they'll get the required counseling. Then I'll print the package and I'll either bring it over. And lately, we've been sitting outside on the porch, at least 6 feet apart, wearing masks, and they can sign the package and ask me questions. In other cases, I've dropped off the package on their porch and then picked it up later. And then if the people are not in Santa Fe, I use UPS ground to get the package to them, and it gets to them overnight. And they can sign, I highlight every place they need to sign and give them a list of documents that I need to get things started. And then we can get the whole process underway without actually meeting face to face. Now, another change has been that appraisals for the time being are done outside of the home, exterior only. So it's a drive-by appraisal, so the appraiser doesn't even need to go into the house right now.
Wow.
And then the title companies have adapted to this, where like I have one title company I use a lot, where they're only allowing the client who's signing to enter their building at all. Or if they don't feel comfortable doing that, they'll take the package out to the parking lot for them to sign, and they'll stand outside the car and so they can notarize the signatures. But again, we kind of try to do it with hands off as much as possible, and it seems to be working. Seems to be working quite well.
That's great, because the types of scenarios that you can create for people with this product that you offer, I mean, a lot of people are really in need of creating that cash flow because of a life event that's come up that's made it so that they need to make some real modifications to how they're living day to day. And so it's great that you can continue to do that in the midst of all of this. It's been interesting to see us all thinking outside the box and trying different things. And sometimes it's just a small modification as just taking something out to someone in their car rather than having everybody go in and out of places. But we should probably mention why Tom Selleck is standing behind you.
Okay. Well, he's our paid spokesperson on television, and whenever his commercials appear on TV, the phone rings. The calls go to Orange, California, to our fulfillment center, but then an operator will transfer them to me live while they're still on the line. And so they have a local representative in New Mexico who can help them with their reverse mortgage request and any questions that they might have. So
That's great. So he's the spokesperson, folks. It
right,
makes sense. It makes sense that there's a cutout of Tom Selleck standing
right,
behind John right now.
right, right.
But John, you mentioned that the rewarding aspect of your work is found in the peace of mind that you can help folks to have. Can you share some success stories where a reverse mortgage has helped a family to find that peace of mind or to fulfill their loved ones' wishes as they've aged?
So a couple of recent transactions that I've done. I did one where the house appraised for almost $700,000. And so I was able to give them a significant loan, almost $400,000. And after the closing costs, they had a large mortgage, $371,000 mortgage. And I was able to use those proceeds to pay that off and eliminate a $2,700 a month mortgage payment that they had. And so they had Social Security and some other investment accounts that they were drawing money from, but they were depleting those savings very quickly. And by eliminating that $2,700 a month mortgage payment, I was able to really change their cash flow. And they're very thankful not to have to make that mortgage payment every month. I have another case that I'm working on right now where the fellow doesn't have a mortgage, but he wanted some cash to do some work around the house and also to do some traveling. Now's not a good time to travel, but that was one of his retirement goals was to travel. And so we're able to give him a significantly large line of credit that he can use so that for whatever purpose that he wants. And so he can draw on that as he needs it, and to do some work around the house that he's been putting off for quite a while, and also to buy this travel trailer that he wants to buy in order to be able to go around the United States and travel.
That sounds really flexible in how folks can use this product. You've mentioned before, and I know you've done workshops around town from time to time that I've seen billed as dispelling myths and misconceptions about what reverse mortgage is. And so I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk around a little bit of those. Like, what are some of the most common misunderstandings about reverse mortgages?
So the number one misconception across the board is that the people are giving up their house in order to get the mortgage, that they're giving their house to the bank in order to get the reverse mortgage. And they forget that the second word, it's reverse mortgage. So it's just another kind of mortgage that
Uh-huh.
doesn't have payments. It's a lien on the property. The title doesn't change hands. It still belongs to the borrowers. So they are responsible for paying the property taxes, homeowners insurance, and keeping the house in good repair. But other than that, they don't have like a basic principal and interest payment every month. And that's the difference between like a home equity line of credit at a bank or a home equity line of credit reverse mortgage, is that there's no monthly mortgage payment. And that can make a huge difference. And so they can sell the house anytime that they want. There's no prepayment penalty when you pay off the reverse mortgage, and any equity that's left over is still theirs. And that's the number one misconception. The second other misconception has to do with qualifying for it. A lot of people, it used to be that there was no qualifications for a reverse mortgage, and now there are. So there is this financial assessment that occurs to make sure that you have like a minimum amount of money left over each month, so that you can pay your taxes and insurance and afford to buy food and pay for other stuff. But it's a minimal amount of residual income after expenses. For a single individual, $589. For a married couple, $998. And in the majority of cases, people qualify using their Social Security, since they won't have a mortgage payment anymore. That's usually people's largest expense. And then the other thing is that we do look at credit. We don't use credit scores per se, but they do look to see if you have derogatory credit in the last 2 years, or a bankruptcy or judgment. And in that case, they might require what's called a life expectancy set aside for property charges. So we'll take the life expectancy, figure out what the taxes and insurance are, and hold out a certain amount of money to pay their taxes and insurance for them for the life of the loan. So those are the two basic things: that they're giving up ownership of their house, and secondly, that there's no qualifications, because now there is this financial assessment that needs to be done.
Well, I can certainly see how this would be a really, really invaluable thing for folks to look into in a variety of different types of financial situations and with a variety of different types of goals in mind. How can people get in touch with you if they want to find out more?
So the easiest way to reach me is by phone, and my phone number is 505-690-1029. Also, I have like a link to my biography at nmreversemortgage.com. nmreversemortgage.com. You can get my profile, my picture, my biography, and also ways of reaching me. So, but the easiest way, by phone, 690-1029.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, John, for taking the time to do this with me today. I think it's great information. As I said, I think it's something that a lot of people could really benefit from. So thanks for getting the word out about it and about what you do with me today. And I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For over 25 years, Home Instead has helped seniors stay home. Now, staying home isn't just staying in the place they love. it's staying safe. Home Instead. To us, it's personal.